I'll be talking to different people on different platforms. How is everyone? Hello. Hello, my friends. I'm back. Let's see, is it showing me live over here yet? Hi, everyone. I have been, let's see. Gosh, it's been almost a week now. It's been more than a week because I left on last Saturday, and I went to New York City with my youngest sister. We are Peter Gabriel fans, and we went to see Peter Gabriel because we did that many years ago when we were teenage. She was a teenager. I was probably old enough to know better, but she was very young, and I took her to see Peter Gabriel, and so we wanted to go see Peter Gabriel together, and she had been in New York City before, but never had been like into the, shown around the city or anything like that. So I was like, we'll go to New York City. We'll go see a Broadway play. I'll show you how to ride the subway. It'll be great. So we had a wonderful time, but we both got sick. So I came home and I've been recovering for like ever since. But today I started feeling better, and here I am. I'm ready to crochet live and work on my Stash Bust Star Blanket September, where I'm still adjusting things, and I might just better off to look at the ceiling now. I have to move my chair too. What was I saying? Oh, so I'm in the middle of this Stash Bust Star Blanket September overly ambitious as usual project, where I started a star and a superstar blanket, 60 superstar blanket, using up some yarn that I had stashed, had purchased for this specific superstar blanket, but I just had overbought a whole bunch of it when it went on clearance, and so I just decided to use some of that on some star blankets. Stash Bust September is a trend, and I thought Star Blanket September sounds fun, so so here we are. That's what I'm doing. And as usual, I bit off more than I could chew. They're only supposed to take 6 days, but that's for people who don't get sick and don't go to see Peter Gabriel in New York City. I could have gone to a closer city. Actually, I don't know where he's playing that's closer to here. But anyways, here's the star blanket. It was a wonderful concert. I had a fantastic time. Here's the star. So I'm going to work on it tonight. We'll see how much I get done. Might not be a lot because, like I said, I'm not feeling great, but I am feeling better. Hello, Andrew. Okay. Hello, Andrew. Andrew, I haven't sent you anything yet, but I didn't forget. I still have people waiting on their prizes or whatever, swag gifts from the last crochet along I did. Okay, looks like I'm on round 7. And what am I doing on this one? I'm doing 3 colors and then changing rows. We had a fantastic storm here this past weekend. I slept through most of it, but I now the it's cooled off enough that I can round start, ding ding, round 7. Okay, and this one it's 4. See, I've been working on the Superstar too, so they have on this round the number of single crochets in the peak is different between the different patterns. So on this one it's 4. On the Superstar, on some of the rows it's 2, and on some of them it's 3. And then the Supernova is all over the place. I don't remember. I have to check it every time. That's what's hard about the Supernova, is that the rows are different. The rounds are different. I mean, it's actually let's see. Would it be too late? If I wanted to make this one a Supernova, would this be the round? Let me see. Yeah, this would be the round where I would be starting to differentiate between it and the star blanket. But the star, the Superstar, and the Supernova all start out with the same 8 setup rounds. And then the Supernova and the star are the same up till about this point where I am right here. In fact, I think exactly this round that I'm on. The Superstar has 3 additional setup rounds. So it has, I think, 11 setup rounds. And then it's repetitive after that. The Supernova has this weird round like here where I would add the additional point where it would start to go up and make a smaller point here. So then it has big points and little points. And then after that, it's very hard to memorize the repeats. It's repetitive, but the repeats are more difficult to memorize. So it's not hard. It's just one of those that you have to follow along with the pattern. You have to keep checking the pattern. And it's not as easy to just like mindlessly crochet it while you're watching Outlander. I'm actually supposed to be baby nest sitting tonight, but I decided not to go as I'm still not feeling 100% and I don't want to get anyone else sick that I might come in contact with. And from what I hear, there will be plenty of opportunity to sit with the nest. And they're not sure if it survived the storm or what. It's just a waiting game at this point. So we have a couple weeks to wait for them to emerge and the turtles to emerge. And if they don't emerge by the first week of October, I think they have like a date that's like, this is the last date that they think they would ever possibly hatch. And then they will start, they'll just excavate the nest and see what happened and see what's there. But there has not been a whole lot of news. I mean, there's been a lot of news, but not a lot of information. There's nothing to hear. There was a fantastic storm here over the weekend, and the waves were really high. The tides were really high. Lots of overwash and erosion and build up on the beaches. I just walked down to the beach one time during the storm to look at it, and the ocean was insane, insanely angry, And there were actually people down there. I mean, people come to visit here for just a week at a time, so I can't blame them if they're only here for a week and they really want to go to the beach. Like, the weather was really nice. It wasn't that windy, but the waves were just crashing everywhere. And there were people out there on the beach with little kids, and I couldn't even go out there. And the ocean was terrifying. I haven't been shelling at all. First year I was here, I collected so many shells. My gosh. Hello, thanks for joining. Thanks for the follow. Whatever that noise was. What's everyone working on tonight? Anyone else crocheting? Oh man, you have it too, Andrew. I'm so sorry. After I get off of here, I'm going to go. I noticed that my favorite movie, Arrival, is number 1 on Netflix today. I love that movie. I like movies about, well, that movie's not really about time travel, but there's an element of, there's like a time distortion in it. And I love symbols. So there's like a whole symbolic language. And it's kind of a love story. So I'm going to go watch that movie. It's my favorite movie. I just watched the last episode of the new Love is Blind. I just watched the end of that. Hi, I'm making this 6-day star blanket. Thank you, Andrew. I don't own a thermometer, but I do feel like I had that feeling like my body was above temp at times, and it started with a sore throat, but the sore throat didn't actually really last that long. It was like sore throat, and then the congestion came, and now what's kind of lingering is the cough, but it mostly feels like drainage. And I'm just tired. I'm just so tired. I'm drained. And I feel weak. for 4 days, I just went from the bed to the couch. And I had some like stuff on hand to eat. Like I had some rice and I had some oatmeal. It was like mostly what I was eating was just like warming up rice and oatmeal. And I had some tea and um and I was putting turmeric. I had some golden, what do they call that? Golden milk mix powder. I was putting that in my tea with some of that ginger citron like jelly tea from Costco. It's like that Korean tea that's like jelly. I was putting all that in my tea, and that tasted good. And then I did okay with the oatmeal. I mostly just didn't have a lot of groceries, and I was too tired to make them anyways, to cook it anyways. So yesterday, it was either yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. I made myself go to the grocery store. I was like, go to the store, get some food. I got to the store. I couldn't remember why I made myself go to the store. I bought some pre-made fried chicken and some ginger ale. And when I came home, I was too tired to eat and some rice because I was out of rice. I thought I can always cook rice and eat that. And I was out of rice. I talked to Amy on the phone yesterday too, and we were both just like half asleep, just kind of keeping each other company, but she's doing okay. She's she keeps herself very busy, so that's how we are in my family, workaholics. And so it's been hard for her to, lay in bed and heal. But it sounds like she's doing well. She's doing better than she expected. She thought she had both her knees replaced a few years ago, and that was very difficult. But so she was thinking it was going to be like that, and it's been nothing like that. She's been doing really well. Yeah, it's just hard for her to, she's bored, she's going crazy. She doesn't want to stay in bed all day. I mean, I felt the same way about being sick for those 4 days. I was just like, I have a lot of stuff I need to get done. I have a lot of stuff I need to do. I'm behind on a lot of stuff. So I'll tell you what, tomorrow I'm going to be warping time, or this week, or as soon as I feel up to warping time to get some of my things done. I have some seeds that I've planted that are starting to sprout though, which feels good. I have my 2 Noro patterns, the 6-day Starro and the 6-day Super Starro shawls. Were released by Knitting Fever. They have kits for them. Oh wait, that's not right. So they came out with the kits, and I think I'm going to be doing more And they said they're getting the beach blanket, beach house blanket. They're getting that set up for kits. Okay, so the Superstar is skip 4 here. This is round 2 also. Ding, ding, ding. The Superstar is skip 4, but the star is skip 2. That's cute, that little bell. Let me plug in my charger for my phone. It's the only thing about cough drops. It's like as soon as it's done, you need another one. At least I'm at the cough drop stage. My sister, not Amy, but the other one that I was in New York with, she can't have eucalyptus. So she was like, coughing and wanted like something for her throat. And I was like, oh, get some cough drops. And she was like, well, I can't have eucalyptus. She's allergic to stuff. Uh-oh. Oops. Okay. I have a lot of knots because I'm using scraps and I refuse to do magic knots, but and I'm always harping about it. Don't tie magic knots, they come undone. But I have to say, doing this project, I see why y'all kids use them. And you want to do your scraps, your scrap projects. I get it. Yeah, I think everyone's sick right now. I'm making the 6-day star blanket. There is a 6-day hexagon cardigan pattern, though. When you all get sick of making the regular granny square one. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna, I think I'm going to be doing something else with Noro, and I told them I wanted to do a, either the star blanket or the hexagon cardigan. Yeah, and look at this. Like the colors, so much inconsistency. You can't really tell. I mean, I can tell. But it's not like I checked dye lots when I was scarfing up the $2 clearance Ogos. Say what? No way. You mean about my sister with the eucalyptus? Yeah. And then here's me. She's allergic to cashews. I'm like, what do I bring as a snack? Cashews. She's like, I can't eat that. And I'm like, get some cough drops. And she's like, I can't have eucalyptus. She's like, do you even know me at all? She didn't say that. I was like, wow. I'm like, I'm a terrible sister. Trying to give you all these things you're allergic to. It's so nice outside here right now. I have all my windows open. It's a little warm for it, but I don't care. You know how when you're sick, you just want to like clear all the air, like the air in the house gets really stale and just your room and your bed smells like sick. I just couldn't wait to open the windows. My house is really small, so there's not like the circulation, like there's just nowhere for the air to go. It goes just like up into the ceilings. It gets trapped there. It just gets like, it's like one of those little beach box houses. It just gets hot, you know, just bakes. I hear somebody commenting on the other side. Hi, bye. Let's see, tomorrow morning I have a craft and chat meeting with the my friends in the membership community. Thank you, Lemon. The Betty McKnitverse. We have craft and chat twice a month on Mondays, and I alternate AM and PM. So I do 10 a.m. and then I do 1 week, and then I do 9 p.m. for one meeting a month. I do 10 a.m. and another meeting I do 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I try to get I try to make it possible for people all around the world to learn. What do you mean, is that a triple stitch? What's a triple stitch? I have been ill. It depends on where you are coming from, if it's a treble or if it's a double or a treble. I picked up the cold or whatever, cold or virus. I tested twice for COVID and it was negative, so I don't think I had COVID. It wasn't that serious, but it did knock me out. Well, I've been doing my best to keep myself fed and hydrated. Been a lot of rice and oatmeal. I just honestly haven't felt like even getting up, walking into the kitchen to get myself a cup of anything. A lot of sleeping. I was really excited to come on Crochet on a Live. These stitch markers are day 1, day 2, day 3. Now, this is really far for day 1, but I had found this one that was already started. So I really only went from about here to here on day 1. On day 2, I did this much on this one, and then the same amount on the Superstar. And then on day 3, I only stayed on for about an hour. So I don't know what I was doing. It's not enough to finish in 6 days. So I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't usually keep track of how much I do in a day, but people like to see day 1, day 2, day 3. And then I keep forgetting that people do those cool videos where they drop it down and then they go day 1, day 2, day 3, and they drop the project down in front of their face. And I always forget to do that, so I'm not going to have that cool effect, I guess, for any of these because I friggin' forgot. I did remember to take a video so far after every day, a post after every day, but I don't usually do the day 1, day 2, day 3. I thought I had COVID. I tested twice. Yeah, I tested twice too. I mean, it did feel like it could be allergies at one point. My sister, I was with my younger sister in New York, and what I was like 2 days behind her with whatever we had. The first day I was with her, she said, I have a sore throat. I'm just warning you. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. And then she was just then she woke up the next day and she had a headache. And we did a lot of out running around that day, a lot of sightseeing and what have you. And then, okay. And then we went to our concert and we came back and she changed her clothes and got into bed, and she all of a sudden was like congested. And she was like, it feels like there's something in this bed that I'm allergic to, because it just happened all of a sudden. And it really did too. It was like she went from nothing to like not being able to breathe out of her nose. And that was like exactly what happened to me. I had the day we were going home, I started getting a sore throat in the car. And then as soon as I got home and I, brought all my stuff in from the car and I unpacked, and I was like, I feel like I'm getting I feel like I have a sore throat. I bet I'm going to get what she had. And then it was like, all of a sudden, my nose was all stuffed up. I couldn't breathe out of my nose. It felt like allergies. It really did. Hi, Mel. I'm making the 6-day star blanket. I'm doing better today. I took a shower. I cleaned my kitchen. I crocheted last night. That was a big relief. I don't think it was COVID, no. I took a couple COVID tests. And they were both negative. Hello. I did not need an antibiotic this time. You have been subjected to COVID and the flu on the 5th, both at the same time. Well, that's a perfect storm. I guess it's that time of year. I should have, what am I doing? Okay. There's a lot of knots in this project, a lot of ends, because I'm using scraps, and I have tied them together just to, just for the purposes of continuing as I'm crocheting, but I will treat every one of those knots as a new join, and that'll all get woven in. Hi, Amy. You have Andrew sick in bed over on TikTok asking about you. How are you doing today? Hi, Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, I haven't been crocheting much, but getting back into it. Nice to catch a live with you. Glad you could be here. Yeah, I didn't crochet for about a week. There she is. I don't know. Andrew might have fallen asleep because they're not feeling well also. 100 and something degree fever and a headache. Hoping you can start making some Christmas gifts. Thank you, Miss Beverly. You do the same. I had a I had a lot of, time to like think and dream, and while I was sick for those few days, think about the concert that I went to with my sister, and think about like I was really inspired by that concert. Like Peter Gabriel is 72 years old, and I've been listening to his music since the 80s. When he became really popular with those songs, like In Your Eyes, and from that album, so In Your Eyes and Big Time and Sledgehammer, like he became like really popular. But I kept listening to him, and I have choreographed a bunch of dances to his songs over the years. And it just made me think about a lot of the things that I've created, and I just admired this. I don't know if you know anything about Peter Gabriel, like he like goes crazy at his concerts, and he like does dances, and he would like get on segways and jump up and down in those big, like, what are those like big, they're like gerbil balls, but they're like for humans. Like he would jump up and down on that on stage, and like now he's 72, and it's like, he's not quite doing all of that anymore, but still putting on a really great show and still creating new music. And I just found it really inspiring that there was still like more to create at that age. And he's been releasing a new song every full moon this year. So not all of the songs that were on the tour had been released yet. so some of the songs that we heard had not been released. So the concert was kind of like, here's a new song you haven't heard. Here's a couple old songs you really love. Here's another new song you haven't heard. Here's some old songs that you love. So it was just cool. And some of the songs that I hadn't heard were really just really great. I just really loved them, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought I would just be like, okay, haven't heard that song yet. Like, can't wait to listen to that more and like get to know it. It was like really moving, and he uses art. He brought in artists to do like the visuals, visual backdrops, and moving visuals for all of his songs, and the art was absolutely incredible. So it was really cool. It was a really cool show. I'm really glad I went, and I got to go with my sister, and we haven't, you know, she's got all these kids. She's 6 years younger than me. She has a bunch of kids, and she's very, very busy. So I don't get to spend that much time with her anymore. We haven't spent a lot of time together in, quite a few years. I was living in Hawaii for a few years, and then I I left my husband. I was living in New York, and I just kind of like fell off the face of the earth for a couple of years there. So it was nice. It was a really nice experience. Who's the favorite sister? That's a loaded question. I've been close to all of them at different times. And it just seems like when like when you go through certain things with in life, and like there was a time when my older sister and I were the only ones that had kids, so there were certain things the younger two didn't really get. Then my next sister down started having a lot of kids, or not a lot of kids, but she started having kids, and then it's like, they're like, oh, you know what you're talking about. Oh, this is what you were going through, da da da. So then you become, became close with that sister. She was having her kids, and then the one down, the fourth one started having kids, and it was like the third and the fourth one got to be closer, and my older sister and I were like, our kids were getting older and moving on to different things. So I went through a divorce. My oldest sister went through divorce. She knew what I was going through. So what's the name of that yarn? It's the Caron Ogo Colorama. It's been discontinued, but it is a 5-weight acrylic yarn from Yarnspirations. It's honestly nothing special. You can do any 5-weight. I feel like every time I do something with a yarn, they discontinue it. I'm like the kiss of death. I would say a comparable yarn would be something like Caron Tea Cakes, Caron Chunky Cakes, something like that. Caron Anniversary Cakes is probably really similar to this, maybe a little heavier. I think Tea Cakes, Anniversary Cakes might be a 6. This is a 5. Excuse me. Oh, I think I had 4 color changes or maybe 5 in that round. Okay, I'll put these up here because it looks cool in the video when I do it. Thank you. Hey, Beach Girl. Thank you so much. Good to see you as well. This doesn't feel like it belongs here. Some of them don't feel like they belong. Thank you so much. They came off of Caron Ogo's. I've got some bits and pieces here. Some of them don't seem like they belong or that they really match up. There was a lot of inconsistency in these. So I don't know. This green might not belong. That gray might not belong. Amy's saying the purple. 6-day star blanket. Yeah, start one. They're addictive. She said the other right. Oh my gosh. Typical dance teacher doesn't know her right from her left. That's because you stand and face the kids and you do everything with your left foot and say right, and everything with your right foot and say left. Okay, I'm doing this one. I don't think this belongs. I don't think some of these belong. I don't think some of these colors are going to make the cut. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Working on my doodad. I don't know what that is. Unfortunately, I don't have any time to make other people's stuff. And I'm embarrassingly clueless about other people's designs. I'm completely self-absorbed. I'm one-track minded. It's 6-day and that's it. That's all I ever do anymore. Someday I'm going to do all the designs that, that I could think of with the 6-day blanket, and then I'm going to do the 7-day blanket. I've been saying that for about 2 years. Like, I'm going to do the 7-day blanket next. I even picked out some stitches for it once. I was going through the crochet stitch catalog book, and I was like, oh, I like this stitch for a blanket. So I filed them away somewhere. I'll get around to it someday. The 7-day blanket. Thank you. how did you measure? Like, what determines the difference between something that is 6 or 7 days? So this is commonly misunderstood about the 6-day blanket. It is not necessarily meant to take you 6 days. The original blanket took me 6 days. It just happened to take me 6 days. It was a toddler blanket made with chunky weight yarn, and I whipped it up as a gift for my sister's first grandson, and I wrote it down. When I was done with it, I thought, this is pretty cool. I'm going to write up the pattern just in case anyone else might want to make it. Don't ask me who would want to do that, but just for fun, I'm going to publish it on that new Ravelry thingy that somebody told me about. And so I called it the 6-day kid blanket, and I called it a kid blanket instead of a baby blanket because the baby was already, I don't know, he was already 1 or something, because I was in grad school and I didn't have a lot of time to crochet or do extra things. And by the time I got around to making the kid a blanket, he was already no longer a baby. So that's how the blanket got its name, the 6-day kid blanket. I never thought it was going to go viral. I didn't even know people were making it. Every once in a while, I would get emails about asking me about it because I had my email on Ravelry, of course. Get Ravelry messages and emails like, I'm stuck, I don't know, what's this, what's that? And I'd be like, I don't know. What the heck are they asking me about that one for? I had written up a granny square Afghan pattern when that show True Blood. Do you all remember that show True Blood on HBO when that was popular? And that episode where Lafayette gets kidnapped by the vampires and they let him go, and he goes home and he's traumatized and he wraps himself up in a granny square Afghan. And a bunch of knitters on Ravelry who didn't know how to crochet, and this was before crochet was having its moment, were like, how do you make that? Can somebody do a knitted version? And so I wrote up, I'm like, well, it's just a 5-round granny square with black around there. Like, we don't understand what that means. So I wrote a whole pattern, Lafayette's Afghan, and it was basically granny square Afghan. I took screen grabs from the show to match the colors with red heart yarn. And I published this thing, and somebody on some fan pages with like I don't even think there were podcasts at that time, but it was some like fan pages, saw the blanket and like wrote an article about it. It's on Ravelry. It's Lafayette's Afghan. So that had gotten a lot of attention. So that's what I thought people were like going to my page to find Lafayette's Afghan. And I actually tried to, and I did work on, I still have this tucked away somewhere, a knitted granny square for these crazy knitters who did not want to crochet. Like, that's how much knitter, like that's how people did not want to crochet. They wanted to knit a granny square Afghan. So I was working on the knitted granny square. And then I don't know, I got distracted or went to grad school. And so whenever anyone emailed me about the 6-day kid blanket, I was like, what are they emailing? What is this? I thought they wanted Lafayette's Afghan. Like, what is this? And I just like answer their questions and then move on with my life. And I didn't think anything of it at all. And then like 5 years ago, I was tagged on Facebook by somebody who apparently their pattern had been #1 on Ravelry and it was knocked out of #1 by me, by my pattern. And they took like a screenshot of that and they posted it on Facebook and they tagged me and they said something like, well, I'm no longer #1, but I'm in good company with Betty McKnit. And I was like, what is this? And I'm telling you, I had no idea that my pattern was going viral. And I had like 30,000 downloads that day. No idea. So that's how it got to be called the 6-day blanket. And when I started like like becoming more active on Facebook as Betty McKnit and on social media, and like I started a Facebook group and I started helping people make the blanket and offering my help and for free. Everything was free. And then I made friends with Stephanie Shelton from It's Crochet O'Clock. And she was like, dude, you got to monetize. And I was like, well, I have no idea how to do that. And she told me, she was like, you put your pattern on your blog and you put, you monetize that way. And so gradually, little by little, I started like monetizing the pattern. And then I had this Facebook group. It was growing pretty quickly. It grew in the first, I don't know, it grew very quickly. And so people started asking like, can you make it in a circle? Could you make it in the round? Could you make it like a granny square? And I would be like, no, I can't. And then finally I thought, well, it's kind of like itching at my brain. Like, what if I did try and do a star shaped, like if I wanted it to go around from the center out, I want it to chevron. So what would that be like? That would be like a star shape. So I started working on the 6-day on the star shape, and I just called it, because I was using the same stitches and the same stitch pattern, I gave it the same name. Now everyone is going subscription based. She led the pack. It's true. I saw Bella Coco is doing it. Yeah, so I just call everything that you, pretty much all my patterns. I have other patterns besides 6-day patterns, but I call all of them that use these 6 rows of stitches the 6-day whatever. Some of them take less than 6 days to make. Some of them take more than 6 days to make. Most of them you can do in 6 days, but it's a really cool story. I know I think it's a cool story. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. And yeah, Bonnie Bay, Tiffany Hansen, and others. Like I said, I don't really pay that much attention to what other people do, because I have, I have so many patterns that I am working on and trying to get out into the world, and I can't crochet fast enough. So I really stay focused on my own stuff. But I will say Bonnie Bay, I have, I reached out to her and asked her a business question last year, and she spent like 2 hours on a Zoom call with me, just like giving me free advice. And excuse me, I just like sucked on cough drops for like an hour. So now I have all this air. Um, Not only did she spend that time with me, but when she got to the meeting, she had already looked at my YouTube channel. She had looked at like all my, she had researched me to see what I was doing. And she gave me some really solid advice, really solid advice. She's a great lady. A really kind person. Um, yeah, but I'll just say I I enjoy going live, and it is unheard of. She's just very sweet. She just gave it freely. Very kind person. Um I love being on social media, and I love going live and interacting. Like I don't know how long you've been on this live, but like I've been sick all week. I haven't been able to come on, and I was like, I really want to go live. Like I really missed it. I enjoy connecting with people out there in the, in the whatever, the metaverse, and just hanging out and crocheting and yakking to anyone who will listen, like literally. Um, but I'll tell you what, it gets hard sometimes because, well, 99% of people are nice. There are, there are some people that just come to the internet just to be mean. And um, I start to not want to like do free stuff, like give everything I have away for free. Um, and people are very entitled, and my patterns are free on my site, but they're also, you can also buy a PDF if you don't want to look at the ads. Okay. And then there will be people that think that because they paid for the pattern that I I have to like walk them through it because they paid for it. And I have so many free resources, so many. So yeah, it sometimes, like I said, it's mostly positive, and I love coming on here. But sometimes it does get to be a lot when you have people snarking at you or emailing you because their printer isn't printing the pattern, and it's somehow my fault because it's not printing out, and it's just like, come on, I can't help you with your printer. That has nothing to do with me, and that's fine. That's one that's I get it. There are technology impaired individuals, sometimes of like an earlier generation. I get it. They don't understand how these things work, and they need a little more help, and that's fine. But sometimes people are just like so mean for no reason, or because they paid $4 and didn't get, immediately what they were expecting. That becomes really difficult to take. So when I find myself in those, you know, in those moments, I'm like, I'm just going to go online into my membership, and, like those are my super fans, and and focus on them. Give them all the goodies. Give them the free stuff. I mean, obviously it's not free because they're paying for it, but you're also paying for a pattern. Or if you're not paying for the pattern and you're getting it off my website, you're paying with your attention by looking at ads. Most of the time people are nice. I don't want to like complain about my loyal followers, but they're just like, it's just like literally less than 1%, but it has the ability to just destroy your mood if you let it. Or if you're in a, if you're in a, most of the time I just delete it and I keep going. I might complain to someone about it and then just let it go. But if it catches you off guard, like in a weak moment, like, I think I've told this story before, but I was, January of last year, I had surgery, and for whatever reason, they were like backed up that day. So I had to wait a really long time to go in to surgery. And I was just sitting there scrolling on my phone, and somebody was on YouTube, and usually that's where they're the meanest, is on YouTube. I don't know why. They and they were like, someone just like basically said, "You're really not very good at this. You should stop." So I was like, all right, you know what? They're right. I'm not good at it. I don't like making tutorials. I like sitting on lives and crocheting, talking, but I don't like doing tutorials. And not only that, but I have lipedema, so my legs swell up. And when I sit for long periods of time in one place, it's not good for me. So I'm not going to do it anymore. And I went into surgery, and I was like, that's it. I'm not doing, I'm not going to think about this, because I knew I had had a bunch of surgery the year before. And I knew when I was upset, when I went into surgery and I was like upset and letting something get to me, it impacted my healing, and my healing took longer. But when I kept my mood really positive and I was like, then I healed faster. It was just that simple, it's mindset. So I was like, I'm not going to let this bother me. This person's right. I'm just not going to do YouTube anymore. I'm not going to let it get me down, because I'm about to have surgery here, and that's going to mess me up if I let it get to me. So I went into surgery just like, fine, whatever. And when I came out, they were like, "Ma'am, what's your pain level?" And I had a breast reduction, so I was in a lot of pain. They took a lot off, a lot. And I was like, I think I said a 7, a 6 or a 7. So they gave me 2. They gave me 2 painkillers. So I was like, oh, feeling loopy. And I have my Shopify. Oh, it was not that bad. I mean, let's just say it was a difficult surgery. It was the most difficult surgery that I have had. And I had a total of 7 over the course of, like, from November of 2019 to December of 2020. In that year, I had 6. And then January of 22, I had another one. Hi, Nicole. And it was the worst. It was the hardest of all of them. But I mean, it was really, I'm like so happy now. It was really good for my body, and it was really good for me. It's really helped me a lot. But yeah, so I'm like, I have my Shopify set with the notification. I don't have it on there anymore, but at the time I did. I had it set to make that ching noise every time somebody bought something, because it made me feel happy. So I'm laying there, and my phone is going ching, 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 and they're like, in the hospital, they're like, "Ma'am, your phone's going off." And I'm like, "What?" And the star blanket went viral on TikTok while I was in surgery. And by the time I got out, my phone was going off. And everybody was over on YouTube trying to follow along the tutorials and stuff. And you know, go crashing my website. They crashed my website. And I didn't know what to do because I was like, you know, recovering on pain meds. And there were people on YouTube that were following along a video like this where I'm just like talking to, you know, commenters while I crochet. And somebody said, "This is really great. This makes me feel like I'm crocheting right along with you. And it makes me feel like I wish I had a community of people to like hang out with and crochet with." And I was like, wow, what a like night and day from the comment I got earlier today that was like, "You're terrible at this and you should stop," you know? So it's because of that comment that I keep doing it. And I keep coming on here and just crocheting because it's like, I might not be doing the polished tutorials like Mikey and Marley Bird do and whoever else. I don't really, it's not that I don't like those people. I just don't have time to follow other people and see what they're doing or how they're doing it. And I want to just do it my way. And it's probably not right for a lot of people, but there's some people that like it. So here we are. I'm going to do it my way. And it's probably the messy way. Or it's probably the weird way. All the weirdos can come along. Bye, Andrew. Get some rest. I hope you feel better. Hello, Exclusive Essence. Thank you very much. Tina says, "I love having someone to crochet with. No one I know crochets, and so this is the only way I can connect with like-minded people." Yep. TikTok is fun. Well, when that happened, that's when I got onto TikTok, and I started to, I went live and I did a crochet along for the star blanket. And the rest is history. Well, your way taught me how, so if it's the weird way, I'm happy to be weird. Yeah, we're the weirdos. Is this style blanket like doing a huge granny square? Electrical banana. Yes, sort of. It's just it's a star shape. It's a star shape with 7 points. You're just learning crochet? Welcome to the addiction. It's truly a wonderful hobby. Yeah, I've been able to connect with so many wonderful people and just hang out and crochet with a lot of really wonderful people and just be myself online. And, it's great. What more can you ask for? Working on a hexagon cardigan. Awesome. Hey, Amanda. Well, thank you so much. When did your yarn journey start? Oh my goodness. My love affair with yarn started when I was a little girl, and all of my aunts and my grandmother, were always crocheting or knitting. My grandmother knitted. I think she's the only one of them that knitted, and they were always crocheting stuff. My mom crocheted a little bit, and I watched them crocheting these hats that they were making for my baby sister. So she was born when I was 6, so it was around 6 or 7. And I figured out by watching them how to do it. And they kind of helped me, but I kind of showed myself how to do it. And I remember my mom was making something. She had like started something, and it was like a swatch of something, and she showed me how to do the stitches, and I just kind of kept going with it and made like a scarf out of this swatch piece of something my mom had done. And I wrapped that up in a box and left it out for Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. Made Santa Claus a scarf. And my father kept that scarf that I gave to Santa Claus, and he sent it to me the Christmas right before he died. He sent me that box with my scarf for Santa Claus inside. And but my grandmother knitted, and I was really fascinated by the knitting. I liked, it just looked like more professional to me or something. And so I asked her to teach me how to knit, and she did teach me, but she taught me how to do garter stitch, and I didn't really understand. She did teach me stockinette. But she started me with garter stitch, and she did stockinette, and it just, knitting, I'm just going to say it, knitting is harder. It's harder, and it just didn't stick the same way that crochet did. But later in life, I did pick up knitting again, and I was mainly only knitting for a while there, a good while. I really didn't crochet that much. The only time I really crocheted was when I wanted to like work up a blanket really fast or something like that. And there was a time, at least it seems to me, where crochet was not having the moment it's having now. It was not cool to crochet. Seemed like more the in thing was to knit. But I enjoy both. I really enjoy both. In fact, I have a sweater that's about 2/3 done in a basket behind me that I started last year. I did a knit along in my membership for the wonderful Wallaby sweater. Have you all ever heard of that? It's just when I taught myself how to knit again was around the time I had my son. So it was around like 1991, 92, something like that. And 90, he was born in 94. So 92, 93, something like that. And it was, the internet was a pretty new thing. And I was on that internet listserv, the knit list. And I learned a lot of what I know about knitting from that internet knit list. And that was like, I don't know, the internet was like new. We didn't really even know what it was. So that wonderful wallaby was like a project that was very popular on the knit list, and I was having a baby, so it was a fun pattern to do, and I've made a bunch of them. So last year or 2 years ago, when I first started my membership community, there were some crocheters in there that wanted to knit, so I did a series. It started with Crocheters Learn to Knit, a little course that uses your crochet skills and teaches you how to knit. And then we went on to knitting socks. Oh yeah, the Yahoo groups. Yahoo groups. Yep. I had Yahoo groups. Oh goodness. I had a Ravelry group for a while. It was a fun bunch of people, but the concept of it was, you know what, y'all, I don't know why I just fastened off, and for no good reason, because I'm supposed to be doing 3 rounds per color, and I just fastened off for no good reason and gave myself like 2 more ends to weave in. Could you believe I did that? Just because I'm talking, not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm thinking I'm doing the other blanket. Oh, what the heck? Okay, so this is just, I'm just going to say this for whoever needs to know. If you are changing colors, well, I'm not changing, never mind. I better do this the right way. So I need to start and end here. Yep. That's what happens. Maria just joined. Thank you, Nurse Marie. It's so sweet. I would love to learn to knit. It looks way too hard. I mean, it's not hard, okay? But there are things about it that crocheters don't like. And so when you crochet, you have one live stitch at a time. So it's much easier to just like chain this many. I want my hat to be this wide. I'm just going to chain this many and I'm going to go. You can't do that with knitting. You have to make a gauge swatch. You have to know how many stitches per inch it's going to be, and then you have to measure it, and then you figure out how many you need to cast on. So there's like, you can't just wing it when you knit as much as you can when you crochet. And that's because you're holding a bunch of live stitches at a time. It's like Tunisian crochet, but worse. I'm a terrible knitter. I never do gauge swatches. I mean, you have to. You just have to if you want your knitting to come out the right size. You have to do a gauge swatch. It's like in my blanket community, I was kind of surprised by this actually, because I was a knitter for so long, and then I come over into the crochet world of Facebook and YouTube, which was never a thing when I was learning how to crochet and knit, right? I didn't know people just did the pattern on YouTube and that was it. I didn't realize that was a thing until I started making YouTubes and people were like trying to make my entire pattern from the video. And I was like, what? That's like a thing people do? Like, don't do that. Do the pattern. Use the video for help. Like, that's all I thought video tutorials were, like, to augment the pattern. But yeah, when I first started doing my group and crocheters are so resistant to doing gauge swatches. It's like, I don't know. We're just doing that in knitting left and right. We're supposed to be anyways. If I want shawls bigger, I just add sections to make it the size I want. Well, there are some projects and some methods of construction that you can do that with. You can add sections and make it bigger. And there are times when it doesn't need to fit exactly right, so it doesn't have to it doesn't have to be a perfect fit, so you don't have to get it just right, and that'll work. But then there are other times where if you want the project to, fit the right way and be the right size and use the proper amount of yarn, you have to do a little gauge swatch first. YouTube taught me to knit. I can only make a scarf right now. So when I do in my little class, which I should clean it up, or I should run it again. I should run this class again, and then I could have the footage. What I do, the way that I teach crocheters how to knit, is rather than starting with casting on, I have you chain, and I have you pick up into a chain using circular needles, and then I have you knit in the round. And then once I get you knitting in the round, then I show you how to decrease and make an I-cord, and then I show you how to do ribbing and cast off, and then I show you how to cast on, because casting on is harder than all those other things that I said. And also, when you already know how to crochet a lot of really beautiful things, you don't want to knit garter stitch so much. I mean, I love garter stitch. I think it's an awesome stitch for like cowls and scarves and all kinds. It's a great stitch. But it's a frustrating stitch for beginners because it takes a long time to grow. It grows at a snail's pace, and it doesn't look like knitted fabric, what you think knitted fabric looks like. So the way that I teach it, I capitalize on the skills you already have as a crocheter, and I teach you to knit using those already honed skills. This is how I do it. And then I went to the H&H conference this past June, and they were saying crochet is bigger than knitting, and I had a bunch of knitters ask me if I could show them how to crochet. And so I thought, wow, I should do a Knitters Learn Crochet course. So that's on that's on my list of things to do, right next to make a 7-day blanket. Have you treated yourself to a wool genie? What's a wool genie? Why do I know that? I feel like I heard that on the knit list, but I don't remember what it is. Well, thank you for following. I appreciate it. Beach Girl, is that something dirty? Or is that the thing that shaves the pills off of the sweater? This is getting big. Let's take a moment and measure it. I measured the Superstar today. It was 44 inches. So this is how I measure it, which is kind of cheating. but because this has 7 points, you can't really measure it point to point. So I just go from the center to one of the points and then I double it. It's not really accurate, but that's just what I do. It's 44. Why did I know that it was going to be exactly the same as the Superstar that I have in the other room? You stick a magnetic stick through your cake and it swings and easily dispenses yarn. It's terrific. No resistance when you pull the yarn. Well, I haven't tried it, but some of the ladies in my community have them, and they're always showing off with them, talking about how great they are. I don't usually pull from the outside, though. Aren't those for outside pullers when you pull from the outside? I'm more of a center pull. Oh, you know what? I haven't done it all tonight, which I don't know. I mean, I'm sucking on these hauls, so I'll just do power so I can power up. Have I shown these to you all yet? The scented stitches, and I finally got my affiliate link for them. It's aromatherapy balm. They come in 4 scents, and you put it on your finger when you're knitting or crocheting, where the yarn wraps around, and you enjoy. I can smell it. I can smell it. I love this one. I don't have COVID. I can smell it. This is my favorite one because of the Palo Santo. I love that smell. But it puts the essential oil into the yarn as you're working, and you can enjoy the aromatherapy while you're working. And then it also scents the project for you. That's from Scented Stitches. And I'll put my affiliate link in the video description, or you can, I don't know if I've put it in my link tree yet. But I'm going to add it to my Noro projects, because if you're spending $100 on the project, you might as well go ahead and spend another $25 and make, you know, have aromatherapy with it and make it smell good. Am I right? I mean, if you're going to treat yourself, you might as well really treat yourself. The yarn is an absolute dream to work up. It is just a dream to work up. I did 3 projects for them with the Noro. One of them was the Noro Yukata, and the yarn was incredible. The colors were just so bright and beautiful and surprising. Just so fun to work up. And then I did a blanket, a full blanket with the Tsubami, which I call the beach house blanket. And oh man, that blanket is mine. It is mine. It's like a silk and wool blend, and it's very light. It's the perfect weight. It was a joy to work up. That project, I've never felt like I didn't want to finish the project before. I felt like I just wanted it to keep going forever. I loved it. It was great. I feel like I'm starting to fade a little bit. When I see this, and that's all the further I've gotten, I feel discouraged. But, you know, when your blanket starts getting big like this, it takes longer to go around the edge. It takes longer to complete a row. Can you hear people walking by going to the beach? Yeah. I think I'm going to do one more row after this and then I'll be good. Bye, Tina. You still sound a teeny stuffy. I know. I am. I'm not 100%. I didn't take a nap today, though. I stayed awake all day. I was productive. I cleaned the kitchen. I made rice to eat. I had some chicken from the store. I ate that. I took a bath. I washed my hair. That was a big, big accomplishment. You took a nap. What else did I do? I went to a meeting. Can you believe that? I feel like there was something else I did. Did I say I cleaned the kitchen? Oh, I made started a loaf of sourdough. I haven't done any sourdough in a while, and I've just been wanting it. Like the whole time I was sick, I was like, I wish I had some sourdough. I just kept thinking and thinking about it. I only had some sourdough going. So I'll have that. I probably won't make that tonight because it's not. I wasn't thinking it was going to be ready to start today, but I got the dough started and I'll probably have to finish it tomorrow. But it felt good to do that and then like really scrub down the countertops in the kitchen. I ran my Roomba. I made a TikTok. Nurse Marie says, FYI, Scented Stitches is in your link tree. Thank you. Wonderful people to work with, too. Appreciate you, Nurse Marie. Yep, this is going to be my last round. How often do you reapply the scent? Whenever I think of it. They have some guidelines in there. Instructions for how to use it. It just depends on how much you want the scent, how prominent you want the scent to be. I really like just having the aromatherapy while I'm working on it. But the scent does kind of change when it dries in the fibers. Thank you. I don't feel like I rinsed my hair that great. That's okay. As long as you did the conditioner and you didn't rinse out the conditioner. I mean, sometimes I purposely don't rinse out all the conditioner. I'm so mad at myself for fastening off when I didn't need to that one time. It was the conditioner that did not get rinsed great, and that's what I figured. It didn't matter much. Yeah, I purposely don't rinse it out. And then I have leave-in conditioner that I leave, you're supposed to leave it in. But sometimes if I don't have my leave-in conditioner right there, I just leave in regular conditioner a little bit. I was getting exhausted at that point and needed to wash the rest of myself. Well, that's understandable. You've been through a lot. I mean, heck, I was exhausted taking a bath and shower today, and I haven't been through what you've been through. I was just sick for a few days. I can put weight on both of my legs. I just feel weak. I didn't go to nest sitting tonight. I might, it's funny how you feel weak. Yes. But I think mostly I feel weak because I don't eat. I didn't eat until like 7 o'clock tonight. And I was like, After I ate, I was like, wow, that was delicious. I have so much energy. Imagine if I did this 3 times a day, how I would feel. I've been in bed too much. Can't wait for my chair to come. Yeah, that'll be good. Thank goodness I had that chair when I was sick. I mean, I did lay on the couch at one point, but mostly I sat on that chair. And then when I just really was really zonked, I would go lay in the bed. And usually when I laid all the way down like that was when I would start coughing really bad. So it was good to be able to sleep sitting up in that chair. Because I could no way lay on my back in bed flat like that. Oh my God. I couldn't even imagine doing it. I had so much drainage. How are the temperatures? Are you able to open the windows at all? I have my windows open. It feels really good. Now, the only problem with having the window open in here is if my neighbor happens to leave their dog outside to bark all day long, I can hear it. I mean, the whole neighborhood can hear it. It's like barking and whining and howling all day for hours. It's upsetting, to say the least. These double crochet rows are boring. Boring. When's your bed or your chair supposed to come, Amy? Friday now. Oh, man. I hope so, too. It has heat and massage? Stop it! I didn't know that. I'm about halfway and I'm like sweating buckets. You're not going to want to sit in your downstairs chair. You're going to want the heat and massage all the time. Good night. Thanks for popping in. I will probably have to buy another one for downstairs, and teal is a normal color. It's a rocker recliner. Wow. It does not match my living room. Well, I understand that, but it's still a normal color. Actually, I think teal would be really pretty in that living room. I think I'm going to stop when this ball of yarn runs out, or I get to the end of the round, because I'm just sweating. It's enough. Enough is enough. Day 4 or day 5 or whatever the heck day this is, I would have to redesign it. You could just maybe replace some of the florals or put like ribbons, you know, like put accent ribbons or some floral pieces, some accents. Wouldn't need a lot. Like a blanket, maybe a throw blanket, and change out the bows on your florals, and do a couple candles, and you're good. Yeah, I have craft and chat in the morning at 10 Eastern time. And then back when I was talking about what I was doing this week, I forgot to say that there is a self-care check-in Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I believe that link is in my bio. I'll have to check on that tomorrow. All right. I didn't quite make it around. I have like 2 more points, but I'm going to just, oh, well, I'm going to have to put it, I'm going to finish that out. I can do it. I don't know what this is wrapped around the outside. I don't like pulling from the outside. I'm doing this because I don't want to put my day, what day is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 marker right here. Is that vein or what? I can't stand a ball of yarn rolling around. Not sure if I will be at CNC. Got a lot of stuff I've been procrastinating on. It's no problem. Should get Joe to make you a yarn ball. I would only use it on rare occasions like this one where I just happen to have something that was wrapped around the outside. There. And I can feel better about how much progress I made. I see a lot of bugs in this room. Oh, for crying out loud. I don't know why this is so hard. It's not gnats, it's like little crawling. It does look like a gnat. Probably coming in the window over here. They're like little tiny things. Like little things that are attracted to the light. Sweating buckets under this blanket. It's going to be a nice warm one. Almost done. Have you really been procrastinating though, or have you been resting? I mean, I am going to be spending time over the next couple days to do all the things that I was supposed to do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I have emails upon emails to answer, and lots of stuff backed up. But I'm going to be really productive, and I'm not going to worry about it. Yep. I was at I had a meeting today, and they said, somebody in the meeting said, when you get sick, that means you're getting an upgrade. You're up leveling. And I feel that might be true because I had a lot of thoughts and a lot of clarity about some different things. I had a lot of time to just sit and think about things and dream and just let my mind process a lot of things that have happened in the last, couple months. Not even couple months, month. I needed a shower. I actually feel better. I think tomorrow will be great. I believe that. Yeah, I was like, when I went to bed last night, I was like, I'm going to take a shower and clean the kitchen tomorrow. And I knew when I did those two things that I would feel so much better. And I really did. All right. I made it. I made it. Everybody went to bed. Andrew went to bed. Beach Girl went to bed. I'm ready for bed. I thought I saw a stitch marker floating around back there. too big to show the whole thing on screen. All right, well, that ought to do it for tonight. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow or whenever I'm able to get back on. Bye. Have a good one. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.